Hello?
Hello, is this Curtis Blow?
Yes.
Hello, this is Dustin Wellness from KMSU Radio.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
All right.
All right, I'm here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Trying to get a hold of you. Do a little interview. You got some time for us?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it. You guys ready now?
Yeah, we're ready now.
Okay.
We'll ask you kind of how you got started in the hip-hop world back in the early days, in your cool DJ Kurt days in the early 70s. How did you kind of get started in that?
Well, it was a thing where disco music was the number one thing out during that time, and everybody was going disco crazy. So I wanted to become a DJ, and I got the opportunity to DJ at a party in 1972, and it was just, fun for me, exciting, and checking out all the DJs during that time who were hot. The guys before me, like DJ Jones and DJ Hollywood, Flowers, Maboya, Plummer, all these cats. They were incredible DJs, and I just loved the way they had the power, the control of many things that happen at a party, from the lights to the tempo of the music to the ambiance of the club, and just the whole DJing thing was incredible for me. So I had to become a DJ.
So was it difficult in those early days, right up until you got signed with Mercury Records, trying to break in?
Yeah, pretty much it was. It was a lot of competition out during that time. I mentioned those guys like Hollywood, DJ Hollywood, and Eddie Chiba, Lovebug Starsky, and of course you had Grandmaster Flash and Africa Bambaataa up in the Bronx. It was just a lot of competition during that time, but I stuck with it, and I actually got a lot of experience in just being, local DJ, local MC during that time, and Harlem and the South Bronx, and that prepared me for when I got my record deal and I started doing all the gigs around. It's like, wow, this is nothing compared to playing in the Bronx. The audiences are really cool.
Yeah, you were kind of the first guy to really get some success with the whole hip hop thing, right?
Yes, pretty much. I was the first guy to tour around the United States and Europe, and first signed to a major label, the first national commercial, the first endorsement deals, all that, the whole gamut. So it was pretty much a glorious time for me. 19 years old.
Wow. Were you met with a lot of resistance from people that were just kind of thinking it was a fad, or that hip hop would go away after a while, or how did you deal with that?
Of course, there were a few, but it was very little. It's like 90% of the people were behind or supporting hip hop, and they really liked it and they loved it, and it was like a phenomenon. So that was far and few in between.
Okay. Around that time, you were kind of instrumental in discovering guys like the Fat Boys and Run-D.M.C. What was the story behind that? Was it just people that you knew, or was there something else?
Well, Run-D.M.C., Joseph Simmons was Russell Simmons, his younger brother. And we met during my college days. Russell and I went to college together. So I started gigging out in his neighborhood, and I met his younger brother, and he became like my protege. And later on, he formed his own group, Run-D.M.C. But the Fat Boys, they won a contest, and the winners of that contest they got a record deal. So they put out a record, and the record it flopped. At that time, they were called the Disco 3. So the record company called me up and said they wanted me to produce these guys. And I took a look at it, and I said, wow, we should make a song called Fat Boys, a song where you guys love to eat. So we did it, and then the song was so hot that they had to change the name to the Fat Boys. So we did like 2 or 3 albums.
Son, how did you end up landing Krush Groove?
Well, Krush Groove was, wow. What was this guy's name? Wow. The producer of the movie I did is Doug Williamson. But the other guy I went to school with, he used to work with Richard Pryor, and they actually came to me and asked me, the producers of the film came to me and asked me to do it. They wanted to make a film about hip-hop, and I put them in touch with my manager, who was then Russell Simmons, and that's how we came up with the whole idea. That's why I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, my gosh. And he's not living anymore. He died. Joe McHenry? I don't remember.
Well, was that film, was that pretty accurate as to what the scene was like in the early 80s, kind of when hip-hop was becoming more popular?
Yes, it was. It was pretty much the way it was, especially the parts about Disco Fever. That was the actual club during that time, and it was a hot club, and everybody was trying to get in there, and a lot of hip-hoppers hung out there.
So how did you feel about when things started to change into the early 90s, the NWA thing, that whole gangster rap? What do you think about that, or how did you feel about that at the time?
Well, I was on a vacation during that time. I had left for a couple of years before that. So I was actually not listening to radio and stuff like that. I was really living a family life and just watching a whole lot of TV, watching the Lakers and stuff like that. I wasn't really keeping up in hip-hop. I missed the whole early 90s, to be honest with you. But, hey, they did their thing.
So you feel like it was just sort of like a natural progression, and do you look at it negatively at all, or?
No, I used to, but now, hey, listen, I can't force people what to do. I'm a rapper, and I have my style, and I can't. But wow, I mean, because I'm different than other rappers doesn't mean that they're not good. I don't think that there should be any negative feelings from any rapper from any style that's different from any other style. We're just different. They have the right, the freedom of speech to say whatever you want to say on the microphone, and I believe that. So I've changed my tune. I used to be a hater. They used to call me the hater. But yes, I have recorded over 200 rap songs and never used profanity.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the scene today then, how it's coming about?
I want to keep it positive and say good things about good people. But I will say this, the raps today are wittier, they're faster, they're more complicated. Here's the most incredible thing about hip-hop today. When we rapped back in the 80s and the 70s, we rapped in English. Everyone rapped in English all over the world. And people used to come up to me, "Oh, Kurtis Blow, I learned how to speak English from your song, listening to the breaks." And, but nowadays, you travel outside of America, you go to Germany, they rap in German. You go to France, they rap in French. You go to, Japan, Japanese, on and on and on. It's the most incredible thing how the countries outside of America have embraced hip-hop and made it their own culture. And these guys are rapping in their native tongues. And it's incredible to see. And they're the top pop artists in their countries, too. I meet them all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's a lady over in Istanbul. Her name is Sultana. She's put out maybe about 4 or 5 albums. And she's just like a big superstar in Istanbul. And she raps in her native tongue, Arabic.
Yeah, wow.
I suppose some of that is probably humbling, considering they must draw their influences from you, being one of the pioneers, right?
Yeah, and I meet people like that all the time, and it's just a great, 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 wonderful thing. So this is a wonderful ride. I thank God, that I'm in this position. This is the most incredible thing. It's really a dream world. And I just, I'm just so humbled by it. You are correct.
And your son is kind of following in your footsteps now, is that right?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I'm changing my tune the way I look at the rappers of today, because he is sure enough one. And his new CD, Californication, I mean, he's not trying to murder anybody or anything like that, but the language is pretty rough. He says it's the language of today. Is how people talk. So, I mean, he's incredible. I know his flow. Every time I hear him rap, I say, wow, he's really good. He's really, really good. So the CD is called Californication, and it's a mixed CD, and you can find it on datpiff.com.
Okay.
It's featured there. Yeah.
So do you two collaborate at all, or is he strictly...
Yeah, we actually are going to collaborate on a new project called The Legacy, so that's coming this year as well.
Okay. And you're also... are you currently on tour or gearing up for a tour with Salt and Peppa? Is that right?
Yeah, the Salt and Peppa Legends of Hip Hop Tour. Most incredible lineup there with Salt and Peppa and Naughty by Nature and Houdini and Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick and Rock Bass and Easy Rock and Chub Rock, and it's going to be incredible. Biz Markie.
Man, everybody's going to be there.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, we have about 20 shows so far.
Any chance of that hitting Minnesota somehow?
I hope so. I know we're going to Chicago. We'll be in that area. March the 19th is Chicago. Well, hopefully the next week we're open.
Okay.
Before we go out to Dallas.
And now, do you guys alternate on that tour, or you don't all? You're not all on the same shows, right? Or...
I know I'm doing about 18 out of the 20.
Okay. Yeah.
But they do alternate. 4 or 5 groups each show.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know MC Light is supposed to be on there as well. Some shows, and Cool Mo D and Big Daddy Kane.
Man, it's like the all-star team of hip hop.
No doubt.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, we can catch you somewhere in Minnesota around that time if you can get a show set up someplace. I know a lot of people would be definitely interested in going to that. Do you have any other projects you're working on now, or anything upcoming?
Other than my son, that's basically it. I was thinking about recording my own CD later on in April, May, but we'll see. We'll see. I have a gospel rap project coming out called the Hip Hop Church, and it's some holy hip hop or Christian rap, gospel rap, whatever you want to call it. But that'll be coming out as well.
So it sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yeah, but you need to keep busy. Busy, idle hands are not good. Not good.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Do you have any parting words for us before we let you go?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for the interview. Thank you, media in general, just guys in radio, man. I love you guys. Thank you for making the Christmas Rappin annual classic, and thanks for the support. They play it every year, and I always want to say thank you for that special one, because that song is going to live forever. So, and thank you for the support of hip hop. We're going on like close to 40 years now, and it's going strong. So I love you guys, and take care.
Well, we're definitely big fans of you. We appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us today.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks so much, man.
No problem, fellas. You guys take care.
All right, thank you.
You too. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.